morning after waking up and having a Rice Krispie treat for breakfast. So I think you might be onto something with that as your prediction. I mean, he's fragged out in DMZ tournaments. I think he's a dual time winner. He's won 2 tournaments nonchalantly, so it's kind of wild.
Well, here we are, game number way. We've got 6 games in total coming your way. Stay tuned for all of the chaos. Let's lock in and get ready for what's about to be an incredible World Series of Warzone.
And we were chatting about this briefly. If you guys are not familiar, things are going to look a little different. We've got Codcaster now.
Yeah, Tiff, this is insane. So folks at home, I was teasing it on the timeline, and it's finally here. Codcaster for Warzone. There's going to be a lot of information on your screen today that you've never seen before on a Warzone broadcast. You might have seen it in other places. It will be similar to that CDL Codcaster mode, okay? So you're going to have that X-ray vision. You're going to be able to see teams before they see each other. We've got our overarching map view like you saw just a moment ago. You can see all the different teams like you usually do, but this is a totally different experience. We're going to be tuning into some of those streams when we can afterwards, especially looking for some of those live reactions to the wins. But today, you're hanging out with Tiff and I, and you're seeing all the action with some extra added benefits, all right? So feel free to ask questions about this new Codcaster, but I'm super excited, Tiff, because it gives us much more information about where teams are and how they're going to interact with each other.
Yeah, it's going to really be able to set up a lot of those shots. But as we were flying in, you saw just how atrocious this first map zone is. And a lot of our teams are already getting into the action. Contests galore. And so that's going to be really challenging because you have to decide, right? Do we land in a hotspot or do we go a little bit more reserved like Picnic, Nikul, and Shadowag on your screen? And it's best to hit it up with that cash as fast as possible and grab your loadie so that at next engagement, you can really full confidence end it.
Yeah, it's a great call out. You can see some of these teams pretty close nearby, and it sounds like we've got some action about to get started. You got Darker Pit, U.S. Army esports player over here on your right-hand side, a qualified team, and looking down over the top of what seems to be one of the best teams on the map, which of course is Sage, Biffle, and Goat Clamp. The big question in our minds, Tiff, is have they seen each other yet? Man, I'm excited about this Codcaster. You know we've been waiting for it for so long, and Tiff, it'll be cool to see how these teams actually set up for their fights, given the information that they have. It looks like Sage is kind of playing that slightly more aggressive role. They seemingly have spotted this squad. Not sure whether or not Darker Pit squad has seen them yet.
Look, I'm not gonna lie, if that squad spots me, I don't want that engagement, especially if they're gonna be able to jump from rooftop to rooftop and carry that aggression forward. A lot of our players, they were out there tweeting their anime gifs this morning. They were talking about how they were not afraid to chow anyone. And Biffle, Sage, Goat Clamp, they're coming for you.
Exactly. Well, you can see our free camp perspective here. Biffle and Sage have a bit of the high ground, currently playing the top roast, but taking it patient. And this is a key moment to people's success. Anytime you see that you can maintain high ground, you likely will have an advantage winning that gunfight. It looks like Clutchbelt has pushed the equation on our FaZe squad, one of our invited teams going against another. DBZ is back, and they are in true form, and they've taken out one on the side of the FaZe squad.
Yeah, a lot of people have been asking where they are, but Pros trying to be able to go down from the hands of Destroy, but it's actually going to be the other way. Now Pros, that winner of phase 1, a beautiful trick shotter and really nice addition, so congrats for winning that, carrying on, bringing that momentum forward here in our World Series of Warzone today. But jumping back on over, we got JC Baby, Almighty TJ, Oakboy. They are traversing the natural topography of Al Mazrah, trying to carry that rotation forward. With the zone mostly cutting out a large section of Al Mazrah, it's going to be really challenging because I feel as if all of our players are going to start collapsing on each other. But what's smart is playing the edge of zone and kind of gatekeeping.
Yeah, no, I think that's a big talking point for us today as we watch some of these teams rotate in and figure out where they're going. We will get a chance to take a look at some of our gulag as we go through as well. It's just, hey, who's playing the more hyper-aggressive strategy early? Who's playing kind of the zone edge and taking it nice and slow? You shouted out Magnificent's team, and they were kind of playing it safe early. It's always fun to talk about the kind of different zones of activity. You oftentimes in these customs see hyper-aggressive teams. They start out with several kills under their name in the early game, and then really slow slow their pace and try to set up for the in game. That middle game is crucial to your success because in game gets chaotic. You gotta have top spot.
Well, specifically when you think about how the point scoring work, right? That kills are going to be mission critical to your success, but the placement isn't going to hurt as well. And Super Evan going to the rooftop, already finding one. Z Colors falls incredibly low on the health, but I have no doubt in my mind that Swagg and Super Evan are going to be able to clean this up.
Got Royalized on the other side of Verdansk. Demon back trying to prove that he can still compete, yet get caught out in the open. Doesn't matter if you get a Lockman sub, shotgun. If they don't see you, you're going to find an elimination or two. Royalized sent at the very least to the gulag, if not the lobby. Looks like we have all 50 teams still in the game. Just a matter of how stable are they. There's a couple more stacks here. You've got Voltrace, one of the teams that we shouted out down below. Omit Autorize, 4 Jace, Mayapo. Mayapo, of course, won the last tournament with, I believe it was Hisoka and Skullface. Has split and is playing with his cousins, so it'll be fun to watch that team as well. So many amazing squads, and everybody's still in it. It's just a matter of how long.
I love that you say that. I originally, when we first started casting Warzone 3 years ago, I thought they were brothers, but they're actually cousins, so good catch on that one, because for the longest time, I'm like, oh, they're the best brothers I've ever seen in Warzone.
Yeah, though totally fair. They're both Canadian. They were blackout demons, and they've just been playing COD Battle Royales basically ever since they came out. Have always been at the top. Oftentimes, they're kind of those perfect third pickups, and it looks like they've kind of carefully curated their squad for today. So hopefully they do well. Here's our first look at Iceman Isaac, Lucky, and Exact. This is a fun trio to talk about. These are 3 different players that played with 3 different squads in years past, and oftentimes don't team together. Iceman Isaac and Exact have teamed a couple times, but Lucky, his bro, one of his Baka bros, is hanging out doing a watch party. So shout out to the Pulse check. Lucky decided to compete today, so we'll see how they're able to do.
Can we just talk about that watch party for a hot second? Because it is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. I want their couch. I want the vibes. And I just, one day, it is a life goal of mine to be able to pick up and hang out in that area. But as we switch to another free cam shot, we can really set up to engage this. We were talking about Vonbot, Dongi, and Nofo early in the pre-show as they won the first game 1 of the qualifiers. But you've got an entire squad taking that ultimate high ground above you. And this is their decision to make. Johnny Bo, High Chocolate, they can say, hey, do we want to kind of push down and engage on that, or is it better to just stay in our lane and play for that long game now?
Yeah, that's right. And they actually just got picked up for the event by OTF Gaming Org. We've got several gaming orgs competing today. Of course, some of our CDL teams and then some of our more B tier, C tier orgs, some of the smaller squads. Of course, we've seen Omit all across the board spread out between a number of different teams. It's fun to see all the Warzone competitors getting picked up by orgs and being able to represent the skill that they have and hopefully bring home some cash. Again, what's fun about these encounters and fun about this tournament, Tiff, is we're going to be thinking about 2 things all day today. $150,000 on the line, and you just got to get top 25 in general to make sure you get invited to stage 2 and don't have to re-earn your spot. So we'll be looking at those bubble teams all day today, but we're also going to be looking at who takes away $30,000 for winning this tournament.
I mean, that's massive cash, and you can see over on the right side of your screen the overall standings. Team Almond thus far leading the charge here, but on board with Invader, Huntzipi, Essen, and they are going shark hunting.
This looks like something out of an action movie. I'm so here for it, and they gotta get closer so we can see who it is. And I think on the other side, oh, it doesn't matter. That's Karma trying to make his way maybe out of the map. Who knows? But Finesse is not gonna let that happen, and that is a squad wipe. Sorry, Karma.
Look, I'm not gonna lie. One time, as that player gets absolutely deleted. This is the really cool thing. We've got the elim feed on our left that is reading like an absolute target receipt if I've ever seen one. It just keeps going and going. That just goes to show you how much action is already happened within the 9 minutes of this game 1 that we've witnessed. Only 6 teams have been eliminated thus far. So it's going to be a real heavy action-packed end game. You can see already just on the edge of zone, teams are making their way in. We have 3 squads in this small vicinity, and Mr. Daft is looking down the sights so cheekily from this windows, and that's what you got to be weary of. You never know who's looking at you in a window.
Yeah, I was talking to Joewo's team actually, and they were talking about several things. Of course, shotguns and everything in between, but they were also talking about get your loadout, make sure you grab a building. Cover and height advantage is everything. So especially if you pick up a couple early kills, you're going to be feeling fantastic. You've got to set up for the end game. That's where a majority of those placement points will come into from the multiplier standpoint. But of course, you're going to find eliminations along the way if you're in the end game. Speaking of eliminations, take a look at Mr. Daft in a bit of trouble. They're trying to hold down 4 and Jace, but they've got 2 down below. This is going to be a tough fight to take if you're Mayappo and Otter, but they are fantastic at playing their trades. They pick up one and isolate some of these 1v1s or 2v1s. Tiff, I do think that you're going to see Mayappo, Otter, Rise, and 4 and Jace on top in this encounter.
Oh, I mean, but homie's got the shotgun in his hands, but Diazbiffle just gets absolutely lasered by 4 and Jace, which is going to create that opening that they needed. Now, you know, Mayappo, Otterize, and Co, they're just going to bring the onslaught and swallow them. You can see Mr. Daft, though, he's going big. He just turned the hands of this fight.
Talk about the KV broadside. Mr. Daft with the shotgun. You're not winning that any day of the week if you don't push it correctly. And Mr. Daft with Sabos take the victory in that fight. That is a huge, huge take against one of our top squads. Mr. Daft hasn't played in the World Series of Warzone in the past, but plays this game often. Sabos and Diazbiffle played together last year and didn't have the best results. So they're looking to improve that this time around. And that's a massive fight we'll look back on and think about the linchpin moment that it was for their success today. We'll see how far it really takes them in this map though, Tiff, because we're not even getting placement multipliers until we're into the top 35.
I was just not ready for that. I mean, Breadman himself said, with the shotgun, you don't have to work for your meal. The kill just comes to you. And now it makes sense. The only thing that you're sacrificing there by picking up that shotgun is those medium range engagements. But Dandro will cover that later. And just like that being said, if you can control the fights and take them in the buildings, that broadside is just going to do the work for you. But as we get a nice little look here at Brittany Reigns, Valid, and Z-Jelly, I mean, Z-Jelly himself, I haven't really seen him too much since the Verdansk days, and he laid me out in a Rivals event.
Sure.
That's why I don't compete anymore. That's why I'm here on the desk. No, it's just because my aim's not that good. But for real, though, Jelly murdered me.
Well, we're taking a look at the Cheddar Brothers, joined by Adrian, in a bit of trouble, trying to push this fight against Sean J. Gaming. And I think they might just be getting out of dodge. I don't think they're going to take this one. That's I think they've got some shotguns. They got this building held down. Let's move on to maybe a freer take. I don't know who's taking this building. It certainly is not me, and it doesn't look like it's Aydan either. There's a couple teams around here, though. You can see their pink team 47 and green. There's 4 or 5 teams actually all around Sean J Gaming. So that's one of those buildings you got to take high percentage fights. If you go into a fight, it's a 50, a 60% fight that you think you might be able to win. It's likely not worth it, Tiff.
Yeah, definitely. You just got to really focus on your positioning. And a lot of the players that they've been talking about, like, what is our key to success here today? Well, it's not getting hit by a precision airstrike and diving down and making sure you stay healthy, but still holding those buildings. But really, their goal is to play slow and play for that end game. But TBE holding the edge of zone, knowing just how gross it was when we got that initial look based off drop. This is smart. You're looking down at observatory. Everyone's going to have to rotate out, and if they come flying down towards your building, you can just pick up some kills.
Yeah, we'll continue to talk about a couple of these different teams. I wanted to shout out 4 and Jason Mayappo. They are in trouble again, Tiff. You can see it in the kill feed, and they get wiped. That's a full wipe on Authorized Mayappo and 4 and Jace. At that moment, Mayappo was the kill leader in the lobby with already 7 eliminations. Someone just stopped the bleeding of what could have been the biggest game of the day by taking out that team.
That is actually not what you need. I mean, the kills are going to be great. You're doing damage control by still getting those, but Tommy, with that sniper in hand, looking to find maybe an easy down that's going to give the opening, similar to what we'd witnessed with 4 and Jace earlier on. You just need that opening moment to kind of ensue. But as you see, this is going to be a third-party situation. If they bide their time correctly, they can push into these buildings once the chaos erupts.
Couple different qualifier teams in this area. There's Dr. Drummer. We got 3-6 Tilapia. Tilapia was saying his keys to success for his team was play together and stack together and don't leave each other's side. And looks like that's exactly what's happening with this gunfight. Badges is going to try to take the high ground. Wasn't expecting Dr. Drummer there. Not using the shotgun, but that Vaznev's still a fantastic close range option. Still in the fight, though. We're going to get this viewpoint from 3-6 Tilapia. a quick potential buyback if they can win this fight. Going to use all of the equipment possible to be able to do so, and so far it's working to help zone off some of the advances of this opponent team.
I feel like I need to rebrand Goj. 3-6 Tilapia is pretty extraordinary, and now I just hope well. You see the PA coming in on their building, a player trying to throw a prox mine, going to be denied, immediately shooting it and denying that zoning of space, because the controlling of space in your building will lead you to have the most success here. And you can just see the angles that they're holding are denying the push from that other team. Sometimes you just have to coexist a little bit. Neither of the teams appear to have broadsides, but badges in the gulag here. This can be really tough, and Lucky does a nice little jump shot. Goodbye.
Lucky played that well, played it patient, forced the equation with the flag cap, and then grabbed the victory. Lucky's going to be moving right back in for Iceman, Isaac, and Exact. Hopefully all three alive. We'll see. We are down to 38 total trios, so things are moving quickly, and we're about to get into that multiplier. But as Dandro says, math is very simple, all right, Tiff? If you don't have eliminations, 0 times 2 or 7 is still 0. So find some elims. Here's a take a look at our dead or alive tracker that is live right now on Twitch. Take a look at this. Several different teams already eliminated. You can see Huskerrs, Unrational, and Scummin, a notable team that is out of here. Maybe chemistry coming into play. Maybe they got contested off drop. Who knows? But regains are incredibly difficult in a 150 player lobby.
Yeah, DBZ alive as well. You've got the TikTok squad, Timmy Toucan's Runaway statue. They were frying some in the Elim feed earlier. I saw Runaway catching some downs, but now we just tune into a little bit of an overview shot with IQ and Arrays. I know they've done really well historically with some of those Rivals event wins, and playing that outside of zone, just really trying not to keep gate kept here, or doing the gatekeeping themselves is where you want to be.
I'm looking for a snipe shot here from IQ. The man's been grinding on YouTube recently. Well, it doesn't look like you're going to snipe shot when you get laced like that, likely from a different team. So now Arrays in trouble is going to smoke up. This is something you'll always see from all of these teams. They are running smokes, and if you have a portable buy, it is incredibly useful. Now, Almond and Noobs in a bit of trouble, or maybe they're the ones causing trouble. They find another elimination. They continue to hold down these angles. Something TBE is doing flawlessly, Tiff, is what I call the Chicago Bulls triangle defense. They are staying inside of a triangle, not moving too far away from each other, but just enough to cover several different viewpoints rather than just stacking in a building.
Let's be real, this is the end to that third party we were talking about with the setup originally. They were just biding their time, waiting for that engagement to occur, and the moment they did, Tommy was like, go get him, Almond and Noobs, and that's exactly where that triangle defense formed that you mentioned. They essentially just went out, fried out. Now let's come on over to Strixie and see if they're gonna have any luck, because if you look at that mini-map, they are surrounded.
That's right. There's a lot of teams in this area, and that's what happens here in the in-game for Warzone, especially in customs, especially when you're playing for $150,000 and you're playing for a spot to the Stage 2 finals where you can compete again. Yeah, I'm holding down the building. I'm making sure I lock up my in-game position. The kills will come, and I will repeat it multiple times throughout these series. 6 total maps. The kills will come in the in-game. Find some of the early and set up for the end and hold your position. Now, Strixie on your screen, trying to find this team rotating in. He knows they're here somewhere. We can see where they are. Again, shout out to Codcaster, and now Strixie has found them, Tim. Right down below, they have no idea. This is called a free devious flick. There's one. Can they find a second?
Look, if you are just going to completely mirror someone and hold the high ground, that Cronin is just going to rip, and that's a beautiful play. But now the issue is you run out of time. You're forced to take flight as well, and everyone's going to be looking for you. But TBE finally coming into some trouble here as another... This time, let Tommy and Almond move forward.
Yeah, Tommy and Almond have been pushed off their high ground. They don't seem too perturbed by it. They do have player advantage, but Noobs is kind of playing that anchor position on the outside. The question is, how do we enter? Probably drill charges, Tiff. Oftentimes, drill charges are the best way to breach buildings, especially if you have a modicum of them in your backpack. Now, you can see the opposite strat here. Aydan is still taking high ground and still taking these kind of long-range gunfights, but goes down. Now, he's got the support of Adrian, so this shouldn't be a big deal to cover, and this is why high ground can be so incredibly important. Raiden playing the back angle, making sure they don't get flanked, and well, hey, look at our mini map. Certainly a flank is coming, and guess who it is? It's not flanked, it's OP Martin Co., one of the most strategic teams out there. The big question mark for that squad is whether or not they're gonna be able to pick up a few eliminations. Swing from the right, Aydan still has not spotted them. OP Mark is likely waiting for team shots to come through. But Tiff, as Adrian falls here, I think Aydan and Raiden, the Cheddar brothers, are getting out of dodge, trying to readdress this fight from a different angle, or maybe just run.
This is no longer an engagement.
Well, it looks like we'll get tipped back here in just a moment. They've moved to a building, which I like this, but now you look over here on the right-hand side, Brolic, Jesus, and Mutex taking the high ground position, top of the building, a great spot just on the edge of zone. So when you think about this position, considering where the zone is, they should be able to catch a couple teams rotating in, but where do they go from here? They know they're not going to be center of zone on the next zone. This is where it gets really weird. You want to pick up TBE if you can, but you're going to be held by several other teams already there. But you got to watch your heads. Get down onto the ground. Duck, dive, dip, dodge, all the different Ds because the snipers are in play. And my friend Tommy is not going to miss when he's given the opportunity. This has given an opportunity for TBE to get involved. But there's three other teams here. You see Guns on one side, Prospect and Brax on the other side. Zepti involved as well. TBE is making sure they group at this point with Guns down below. Could be trying to pick up one or two. Zepti has won that gunfight. Jesus still has the high ground though. Finds one. Still looking. Got a loadout here on the right-hand side that they know about. You know some of these other teams are going to try to push in and grab some late-game loadout weapons. Sometimes some of these squads will change, but the key right now is smokes, and more smokes. Cover your advances. Cover your rotations. So many different ways you can use these smokes. Now, Tim, I believe we've got you back, and I'm still looking at Mutex and Brolic. They had a tough World Series of Warzone on different teams last year. They've decided to join forces, and right now they're making their way through Graveyard.
Look, Graveyard is going to be one of those places that's going to be really scary to fight in, specifically with 25 squads left remaining. Smokes are those critical things that you were just talking about. You have to be able to zone out, and as we jump on board with Brolic, they're trying to utilize the smallest shed here for cover, but even this is better than what's outside. But you have to move. You can see Soka there on the left representing that Las Vegas Legion team, and chaos is erupting like I wanted.
I love this little map view. We see at the top left-hand side, you can see how many teams are left. Of course, we've got 22 left, which means our multipliers are coming into play. Every second counts. No matter what team you are, no matter how many eliminations you have, you've got to find it. Brolic has found two. That's Goat Clamp falling on the other side and cleaned up. Well, adios, see you later. Jesus is going to be sitting in the lobby as well, and it looks like they're out of here. Squad 34 is out of here, which is Brolic and Mutex. They had a decent map, not good enough. We're looking at top 20, though. New multipliers, Tiff. And I am looking at Nofo and Vonbot. This was the team that took down Autorize, Mayapo, 4 and Jace, the kill leaders at the time, and they've got a great position.
They're fully kitted out. You've got 3 gas masks. All 3 of them are alive, 2 with self-reses, and Nofo's just trying to keep maybe that option open, finding those knocks and denying the teams to rotate, because you see they have the positioning on the mini-map and looking down the sights. That's going to be Team Smixy in front with Flanked and Co. Now, everyone is going to have to focus as that circle is starting to collapse. We have 17 squads here vying for a map 1 win.
OP Mark in trouble, goes with the drill charge, but it's the Cheddar brothers staring down lane through the smokes. They will find the elimination. They will find the team wipe. Adios, see you later. Cheddar brothers will not fall, not yet. Now they are on the outside of the zone. Still, Dongi, Vonbot, Nofo, they've got an amazing spot on the high ground. Where's the next zone, though? Everyone's got to move, and some of these teams are going to try to move very early. And speaking of moving early, sometimes it's not the right play. You got to check all your angles. We lose 2 in the process.
Look, I guess I should have picked Vonbot, Dongi, and Nofo while we were talking for the predictions for map 1. They won map 1 of the qualifiers, and they're looking to run it back. As that circle starts to shift, stay with us. 12 squads remaining. Dongi trying to dodge that drill charge because that's a great use of utility to eliminate buildings. And Aydan and Co, they're going to be the ones to make that push, but get denied.
Aydan is out of here. Cheddar brothers eliminated. We're down to the top 10 Ryda has made it to the final circle. Not any further, though. 8 teams left. Donkey is on a tear. 7 eliminations. The team likely has well into double digits. This team also wiped Huskerrs, Unrational, and Scummin. Donkey's on fire right now. The problem is he's all by himself. Player advantage in the final circle is everything. But guess what, Tiff? It's all solos.
There's no one with a player advantage right now. We're in a massive 1v1v1v1v1. Or can I get a yeah? And the question is, who's going to be able to make this work? We have Almond from TBE with a pistol in hand trying to keep the dream alive. Jay Wilkie, the classic Pain is looking down. This is how you do a flank, my guy. And that's going to be all they wrote for TBE as they are eliminated. And now Pain has the high ground.
Still a fantastic map for TBE. Likely going to see them near the top of the leaderboard, down to the final 4 solos. One's got a sniper in his classic Pain. Finds another. Is going to try to finish that up if they can. Inside the gas, you see Shifty up on that hill tip. He's got position. Shifty knows what he's doing. Gets the recovery, the self-res, and the elimination. Donkey in the final 2. They win big. They grab map 1 in the qualifiers. Can they do it again? Shifty has high ground, has the position, the triple S, the dream team, dream crazies pick. Your pick, Tiff. Shifty knows what he's doing. Second in ranked Warzone currently, but this is a tough fight for both of these players.
Oh, brother, if he just takes one shot to the dome, 10 kills, and he's looking for an 11th, but you're right, doesn't have high ground, but that gas mask animation's not going to bother him. So SMG coming out, the shots are in. Will that be enough? No! With
the pistol, Tiff. Shifty cleans up with the pistol on Donkey. Donkey runs out of ammo in the final seconds. Switch to the sniper. A little bit of some gunfire means movement all over the place. Couldn't quite hit it. However, an incredible map from Donkey, Vonbot, and Nofo. Not only grabbing second place in that map, but also wiping some incredible squads along the ways. A ton of eliminations across the board. Watch out for that qualifier team, but also